Hello, it's Ricardo, and today I'd like to talk about Project Lambda. Now, Project Lambda is a remake, or a fan remake, of the first stages of the Half-Life game. Now, we'll all remember the Half-Life game is a first-person shooter that requires the player to perform combat tasks and puzzle solving to advance through the game. And the entry sequence, which we're going to show in a moment, was iconic because it started to invoke story modes within games that travel along the transit system. Anyway, a team here, Project Lambda, has, they must love the game because they've turned around and they've taken the initial sequence of that travel into the Black Mesa installation and they've re-envisioned it in the Unreal Engine 4. Now, it's taken them ages and the team have started to share their progress as well. So what I've done, I've got the new version, as you can see in the big screen, right? But also in the top left-hand side, I've got the old version from ye olde version of Half-Life. Now, I played this when it originally came out and I was thrilled, and I played and played and played it, and there's a huge amount of gameplay involved. I mean, the game regularly integrates puzzles such as navigating mazes of conveyor belts or boxes, or to build small staircases, with other areas that you must travel to. Some puzzles involve using the environment to kill an enemy. There are a few bosses as well. So, for the most part, the player battles through a game alone. There's occasionally assisted by other NPCs, and you saw scripted NPCs come into this game as well. So, this fan project, hopefully will expand from here, and it won't get bogged down in legal issues from Valve. You can only hope, and I'll put a link to where you can read more and download this fantastic looking download. Have a look on your own systems. Now, I'm running in 4K. I've got a GTX 1070, and I be fair, it does look fantastic. The levels of detail have been re-envisaged from one point to another, and in fact, I think, made better. Okay, so like we've mentioned, most of this game takes part in the Black Mesa research facility, and you're on the transit system into work. This is the whole thing. This is the first 8 to 10 minutes of the game. You're on a train just looking around, looking at all the sections. But what I think becomes relevant is that the sections you pass through are effectively the sections you're going to see in the game. So where do you think, oh yeah, it's just an entry sequence, an intro sequence, right? Pay attention, because later on in the game, you're more than likely going to be passing through these. So the protagonist, Morgan Freeman, is the guy who's actually on the train. He was called a PhD from MIT, and he's a theoretical physicist. Now, I'm not going to go too much into the game, and those sort of like seasoned gamers are going to know a hell of a lot about it. However, what I am going to say is that it is available to download from Steam if you haven't got it, and I think it really is worthwhile re-looking at. Now, of course, the graphics are not going to be as swish as what you can see on the screen. It's going to be very dated because it hasn't gone through a revamp. There's also spawned a sequel, Half-Life 2, which is episodic, and as we all know, there was only, I think, 2 episodes of Half-Life 2. It just stopped there as you sort of left the facility on a train. We were all going, come on, we want episode 3. And as yet, it hasn't happened. Whether or not that will happen on a new generation of consoles, I don't know. As far as I understand it, Half-Life 2 was available on PC and sort of the Xbox 360, PS3 generation of consoles. So I could be wrong about the PS3 thing. I haven't got a PS3, only a 1 and 2 and an Xbox One. Of course, it all generates around sort of like the subterfuge of the government man, the G-man as well. What are they doing in this Black Mesa research facility? And when all things start going down and things start happening, all these people you can see around in these different areas of this facility get changed into aliens who are out to kill you. And there's you in your hazmat suit is one of the only people out there who can turn around and save the day. But just look at the detail of this and the canyons and things as well. I mean, also there's helicopters flying overhead, people getting into cars. You get the idea. People are starting to go through their daily lives, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Apparently, with the original game, Valve struggled to find a publisher for Half-Life, as many believed the game was too ambitious for a first-time developer. And now look at them. Valve is, obviously associated with Steam. There's Half-Life 2, the orange box. Loads and loads and loads of more games around there, They wanted to compete with Quake 2, right, which was out, obviously, again, in 1997. Quake 2, pretty good game, has to be said. I prefer Half-Life. Gotta say, I prefer Half-Life. So Half-Life was eventually released in November 1998. Right, the revised version of Half-Life, shown at 1999 E3, was given the Game Critics Awards for Best PC Game and Best Action Game. And from then on, it just blew up, really. The first Half-Life Day 1 was one of these demos that contained the first fifth of the game and was distributed with certain graphics cards. The second demo, Half-Life Uplink, was then released on February the 12th, 1999, featuring a heavily revised variations of levels cut during Half-Life's development phase. So these things are out there to go and play. So again, it was ported to the PlayStation 2. There was also Half-Life Decay, and a version for the Mac was also announced, but was never released, unfortunately, for all you Mac users. You know what they say about Mac users? You can never have too much fruit. But when I think it comes to a Mac, perhaps you can. The Dreamcast was meant to have its own version called Blue Shift. However, after many delays, the Dreamcast version was cancelled in 2001, apparently due to changing market conditions. The Blue Shift expansion was then released and ported over to become Half-Life's second expansion for the PC. Again, a really good game, and I played that on PC as well. So on January the 29th, 2013, Valve went back to its back catalogue and released beta versions of ports for the OS X and Linux operating systems, and then really finalised those on February the 14th, 2013. The Half-Life expansion pack also featured a high-definition pack that sort of enhanced the graphics as well, bit of a graphics overhaul, and also there was opposing force included with that as well. So in short, this demonstration, it's only a demo, you can't really play anything, it all stops when the guard comes to open the door for you, which is, I've got to say, unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. But you do get that sense of vastness of this entire underground facility. It's dark, it's dingy. What are behind those doors? What's that guard doing over there? You just don't know. Where do those pipes lead? I think it's indicative of what gaming really should be like. And it was released, and it worked. None of this, we'll release something, and then we'll release another 5 gigabytes of updates. I tried to log on to the Xbox the other day. Fancied a bit of Blast, fancied killing some Stormtroopers, Battlefront. 6.9 gigabyte update. I thought I'll play Battlefront 2. Battlefield 5, sorry. And again, you've got a 4 gigabyte update. What's all this about? I understand the need of keeping games fresh, but there's an awful lot to be saying and standing behind a product and saying, there, it's finished, it's ready, we've polished this game up, and as you can see from the graphics, it's really polished, and we're going to release it. So we're coming up to the final destination now on the main screen, as you can see in the top left hand side, which is a little bit ahead there because this sequence in the reimagined and Unreal 4 version of Project Lambda effectively is a little bit shorter, only a few seconds, but there you go. And that was it. So the Project Lambda, again, is a fan project that uses Epic's game awesome Unreal 4 engine and has seen the small development team recreate the intro of the train sequence. It's not the full game, so don't go thinking it is, but it's worthwhile having a good look. I've been Ricardo. If you like this, like and subscribe, and check back for more videos.